Hello, my friends. Always a pleasure to be with you. And as we move from celebrating the divine feminine, as we did last moon, we go into this one celebrating the divine masculine. And as you know, there is the divine masculine and divine feminine within each one of us. And so for the next several weeks, there's going to be different focus on the qualities of the divine masculine. And we're going to start this off with talking about power and strength. And that includes inner power and inner strength. And one of the beauties of the balanced divine masculine is that the gifts of power and strength are meant to be used to create change, to create movement. And in order to do that properly, you really have to keep in mind the entire cycle. So in other words, if someone is going to be using power or strength in a way that is, I'm just going to say, incorrect or even bad, then these can be used to overpower someone or something, to strong arm. There's so many terminologies for it. And in the end, what is exacted? Well, you might be able to impose your will, but it will never be a stable reality built on a good foundation. And ultimately, if someone chooses to use these abilities of power and strength in a tyrannical, selfish, willful way, ultimately rebellion will happen and the overthrowing of a tyrant. And I know with certain world effects and so on, we probably say that soon enough, but that is the reality. But in order to use these godlike qualities, we need to understand what they are. So power in its broadest sense, power with a capital P, as we would have in the Good Red Road, is the breath of Creator. It is pure energy. It is raw potential. And each of us was born with power. So when it comes to outward power, we each have the ability to affect the world around us. It may not be necessarily with the power of, like a superhero lifting a car, but the power of your words, the power of your action, or sometimes literally the ability to use and focus this energy to create something new. But power needs to come from a source. And that's where you can tell what the opposite end is going to be like. So as I said earlier, if power is coming from a place of selfishness, of willfulness, wanting to cause fear, or from fear what have you, then yes, this power can create or destroy, but it will have that undercurrent to it, and everything will be tainted by it. However, if the source of that power comes from an inner peace, an inner power that comes from the universe, from Creator, from whichever way you see what is greater than you, and compassion and mindfulness, then this power, when it is released, is done in a way that others are considered and can participate. There will be times when there will need to be a stronger surge of power to make things to happen, to change. And other times for the power to be gentled. And that is the way with the divine masculine. The divine masculine is not just looking to means to an end, in a brutal way. The divine masculine considers that there is an unending cycle of creation, existence, and destruction. And depending where you are, because it's not a straight line, sometimes there is a need to destroy and uproot something that is old, that doesn't serve anymore. So I'll say, for example, old ideas that are causing harm and racism and so. Or, again, it could be even used when there is, say, a tree that is sickly or dead, and the need to use that power to remove that tree before it falls on someone or someone's house in this way. So the idea of using power is not merely looking at creation or what have you. It's really seeing with whatever you're trying to affect, what is appropriate? Is it appropriate to create something new? Is it appropriate to help to sustain, get the power to sustain someone or something worthwhile? Or, as I said before, is something now has served its time, and it's now time to remove it from the equation? And that idea of developing inner power comes literally from this, connecting within yourself to something greater and beyond yourself. So it could be done through meditation, and it could be done through volunteering, again, using that power, that ability for something greater than yourself. And cultivating the divine masculine is amazing. You know, that ability to use the power to help to keep in balance the cycle of life. But another aspect of this is strength. And of course, when we think of strength, we think of this wonderful, buff males, and, that idea of being able to, well, in essence, what can you move? What can you force? And strength, again, whenever we go in its most primal way, is the assessing of whether one thing or someone is weaker than yourself or what you're trying to use. That idea of where power is that raw energy, strength is that assessment of how much of the power do you need to turn into strength to create an effect. So strength, again, very much like power, if it's used mindlessly, can be used to, again, we even have the term, as I said, strong arm. You can be to impose and use that strength to wrongfully make things move to your will, but at the price of harming another, at the price of perhaps even extinguishing the species or a way of being that you had no understanding of. So strength is not just this ability to do what you want the way that you want, If anything in nature, what we've been shown in the Good Red Road, and anywhere around the world really, we consider the stronger the animal is, typically the calmer it is, the elephant. Even with dogs that we have here locally, usually the bigger dog is calmer than the smaller dog. And when strength is employed as it should be, then it is to assist in helping to support a healthy community, to help to protect those who are vulnerable, those who may not have a voice. And as ironic and even paradoxical as it sounds, that the stronger one is, the more mindful and gentle one must be. So very much consider, say, well, what do you mean by that? Well, think about the force you would use to, say, push a door that's stuck shut, really muscling and putting your shoulder to it, would take a lot more force. And imagine using that same force to hold on to an egg. Yep. Yeah, a scrambled egg real fast in that manner. So outward strength is like that. If you use too much, you can completely destroy or undo something that you're building. Properly putting, you can build wonders with it. But inner strength, like power, needs to be cultivated. Inner strength comes in the form of knowing, and again, the prayer and the teachings of Father Sky. Inner strength is knowing when to speak, when to listen, when to act, when to be still. Cultivating endurance, cultivating patience, cultivating stamina, cultivating stability and strength of mind, body, and spirit. And any of you out there who are athletes, or even who just enjoy being out there, you know that strength is something that you need to build up to. If you just try to just do something from the get-go, you envision yourself climbing a mountain, you envision yourself meditating for 20 minutes, good luck with that. Odds are you're probably going to have an exercise in frustration. But if you are learning to be strong, part of being strong is being honest. You know, where are you? Where are you? What is the point of developing the strength? And once you determine, is this the strength to kayak down a river? Is this the strength to deadlift, 300 pounds or whatever? Is it the strength of being able to deal with the elderly or life's challenges with family or at work? So once you determine what you want to cultivate the strength for, it becomes more apparent the type of activities that you need to do. And that's the thing about the divine masculine. The divine masculine is active, but it knows how to pace itself. If you're developing power, if you're developing strength, it's an idea of building and resting, pushing yourself a little harder, meeting yourself, again, building and resting. And so with that, it's not just something that's given to you. It's given to you at a certain level by the Great Spirit as you are born. But whether you become powerless or less strong depends on whether you use it or not. Because power and strength, and it should be linked to love, but is very much like love. It only grows the more that you attend to it. If power and strength are guided by love, which can be love and honoring of your body, if you're building your body, love and honoring yourself to cultivate wellness, love and honoring your community, your family, strength and power of the divine masculine can create miracles in this way. And so with that, it is also why the gods, the divine masculine force, if in balance, views these two wonderful gifts of strength and power as a responsibility. It is not to be wielded around willy-nilly, for indeed it is very much like one of the swords of the gods. Power and strength can begin to change reality itself, internally and externally, and can leave an impression that can last generations in this way. So it's not to make you afraid of this. Again, this is to celebrate. Divine masculine is beautiful, it is wonderful. It is one that we see around us, within us. And the one thing that I would say, though, that I would like to see in order to heal divine masculine force is to move away from the toxic form of masculinity that has been promoted. And to a degree, I really feel a lot of compassion for that, because as, again, women, or you identify more as the feminine, you can cry, you can have your emotions, you can dress any which way, and that is more acceptable. But if you go for the more limited and toxic, I'm going to say more of the stilted or older view of masculinity, they're not allowed to have emotions, very much like an ironstone man, very critical about how to act, how to dress, hardly any freedom at all, and to the point where I've seen very good men who have bought into it, and they feel very deprived in life because all they feel is they're a provider, they're a protector, they're a function, and where are they along the line? And this is a wonderful force. Divine masculine force is meant to be vibrant. The divine feminine has its way of shining, as does the divine masculine. So if one is to encourage healthy masculinity is strong in its vulnerability. It does not mind saying, I need help. It doesn't mind being of service. But even a champion needs support. The divine masculine is not afraid but is bold in creating intervention, but also keeping in mind and heart the long-term impact that it's going to have not only on the loved ones that are around them, but on the generations yet to be born. So as you can see, this is a very important study. I encourage each of you, regardless of which gender that you are, and to sit down and really appraise and appreciate the strength and the power that you've been given, right? No judgment, because the whole idea of condemning yourself for being weak or condemning yourself to be powerless, fine, if you feel that way, there are times that we all do. This is reality, but you're not helpless. Again, the beauty of this God force is this is the invitation from the universe, from Creator, to participate in that whole cycle, as I said to you before, of creation, existence, and when need to be the destruction, the releasing. So sit down and appreciate yourself. Think about how you can cultivate your outer power and strength when you are moving outside of yourself. But in order for that outward power and strength to be balanced, remember, you have to pay equal attention to cultivating that inner power and strength, which is why many spiritual systems around the world will do that, whether it be yoga, the martial arts, what have you. That idea of cultivating that inner strength, the power, and I have to say creates interconnectedness from yourself to how you express yourself outside to those beyond. So the divine masculine, like Father Sky, like the sun, shines, helps to bring life, helps to bring balance and support and vibrancy to the divine feminine, and in turn the divine feminine to support, to nurture, and to give encouragement to the divine masculine. And so, my friends, I really appreciate you being with me. Here we are on the cusp of summer, which in Native tradition is really a celebrating of the divine masculine, of all that is male. And take time today to really appreciate and say thank you. Say thank you to those males in your life that are important. Take time to sit down to say thank you to, again, divine forces that help you. And of course, thank yourself, not only for showing up today, but sitting down to honor that divine masculine within you, to strengthen, to heal, to grow. And so with this, my friends, Wanishi, thank you so much. I can't wait till we get to sit with each other again. And if you found this video useful, please give a like. I encourage you to subscribe. It always helps to spread the positivity. And in your comments below, I would love to hear your thoughts about if there's any special men in your life. Who was an important male role model. It could be familial, or even somebody that you look up to outside of yourself that has really inspired you to use your power of life and to really strengthen how you live it every day. So until we have the joy of being with each other again, Wanishi, thank you so much, and the brightest of blessings to you and yours. And my thanks to all of the men out there, all the good men. Thank you for being here for us. Taniho. Bright blessings. Take care.